Well, good morning, everyone. It's a, excuse me, beautiful day to be out here. Maybe not if you have allergies, but other than that, gorgeous day to be out here. Thank you for coming. And before I begin my remarks, I want to personally thank the person who is the reason we're here today. He's been traveling across the nation advocating for those who served in uniform. The person the bill is named after, Dave Crete. Dave, thank you for being here. I first met Dave Crete during one of his many visits here to Congress to call attention to a terrible injustice going on. For Dave, it was never about himself. It was about improving life for his brothers and his sisters who served, who deserve recognition of their service. Through his leadership, through his dedication, he was successful in utilizing his voice, his time, his resources to get the attention of those in the highest level of our government. And because of him, Dave, we're here today. I would so like to offer one more round of applause for Dave Crete.
Thank you. Good morning.
So we are here to finally introduce the Dave Crete Forgotten Veterans Act. It's legislation that's going to fix an injustice that is sorely needed and long overdue. The legislation will fix a disparity that has prevented men and women who served in uniform at certain locations from accessing the benefits that they are legally entitled to as veterans. These veterans, many of whom served at the Nevada Test and Training Range, they stepped up to serve our nation in locations where they were being exposed to dangerous toxins, and radiation. And since then, they've carried an invisible burden. They carried out dangerous, highly classified operations in order to keep the U.S. safe, to keep us safe. And because that work was classified, because that work was secret, no one without a security clearance could know where they worked or what they did for us. And then as they got sick because of where they served, too many were denied the care and benefits that they have earned. So let's be clear, they weren't denied because their illness wasn't a result of their service, but because the government failed to recognize and document their exposure to toxic chemicals in their records. And yet at the same time, non-military personnel who served alongside these veterans have been able to access the care they need for fallout of that exposure through the Department of Energy. It's not fair. It's not right. Dave and I have been working for years to right this wrong, to make sure that these veterans are no longer forgotten. And so far, we've been able to make some progress. We introduced a bill last year to right this wrong, and we've been working on it ever since with the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs. The bill advanced through committee, and we got a provision from it included in the National Defense Bill last year, which I'm proud to say is now law. This provision requires the Department of Defense to document service members' exposure to radiation and other toxins that occurred during their service at all locations, including domestically, not just from when they return from overseas deployments. It's just a start. It's a step in the right direction, but now we need to fully fix this oversight. We need to fully fix this oversight, fix this wrong. And the longer we wait, the more veterans are going to lose their lives without the benefits that they have earned and that they deserve. That's why we're introducing the Sergeant Dave Crete Forgotten Veterans Act. After passing a portion of the original bill into law, we have continued to work with the Veterans Affairs Committee to make sure that the remainder of what we need to do, that this bill will become law, the full bill. The legislation is about justice. It's about making sure that every veteran can get the care they deserve. It's about keeping the promise that we make to every person who signs on the line and puts on that uniform and serves the United States to keep us all safe and secure. The Sergeant Dave Crete Forgotten Veterans Act would finally require the Department of Defense to classify the Nevada Test and Training Range specifically as the location where contamination occurred. It would require the Department of Defense to identify everyone who served there since the date of the first nuclear test on the range, all the way going back to the 1950s. It would require a path for veterans to provide proof of having served there. And it would require the Department of Defense to share with the VA this documentation, as well as any injuries, exposures, or illnesses related to their service, so that veterans can finally submit a successful claim to the VA for their benefits. And we can't afford to wait any longer. More than 500 veterans who served at these locations have already passed away. And every day, we could lose another. Every day this injustice occurs, another family suffers. So it's time to fix this. I thank you for being here. I'm going to introduce my friend Susie Lee, Congresswoman Susie Lee from Nevada's 3rd Congressional District. She's been my partner in the House of Representatives and someone who's been fighting in Southern Nevada since she got to Congress. I give you now Congresswoman Susie Lee.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Senator. It's always been an honor to work alongside you to fight for the thousands of veterans, to ensure that they receive the benefits that they rightfully earned and deserve. And Dave, you've been an incredible warrior, you and your family, and the Invisible Enemy organization fighting for justice for so many of our veterans who have served our country. And again, I've said this before, it's almost embarrassing as a member of Congress to think that we've asked our men and women to put their lives on the line to serve our country, and yet we make it so damn difficult for them to get the benefits that they've earned. And I'm so proud to be here announcing alongside the Senator the Dave Crete Forgotten Veterans Act. This is an updated version of the bill we proposed last year, your PROTECT Act, which I led with Congressman Amodei, and an updated version of your Forgotten Veterans Act as well. Listen, if a veteran's medical complications are due to their service, this isn't just about the veterans themselves, it's about their families. Because after they pass, their families are entitled to benefits. And Dave has mentioned this many times, that if he were to die from one of his conditions and he is unable, or the status quo remains the same and he can't service connect, his family will get cut off and get nothing, simply because he had a top secret security clearance. And that's why we are introducing this legislation to expand PACT Act benefits to veterans that were assigned to impacted areas at the Nevada test site, to offer them potentially life-saving medical treatment and financial compensation, and establish an assumption of radiation exposure. This is meaning that just because they were there, exposure is presumed to have occurred. And then this will simplify the process for veterans seeking benefits for the illnesses linked to this. And I'll just say, we've had the opportunity to be with Dave and many of the men and women and their families, many families who are afflicted with illnesses as a result of their loved one's service. And, I'll just tell you, I've never seen so many grown men cry. And it really breaks my heart. And I think it's just such an injustice, not just to those men and women, but to every man and woman who serves our country. When we ask men and women to sign up for service, we are making a commitment to them. And we have failed these men and women because we have made it impossible, nearly impossible, until we've come along to get them the benefits they've served. And I had the opportunity 3 weeks ago to ask the Secretary of Defense to commit to declassifying this information so that we can connect these men and women to the benefits they need. So it's been 3 weeks. He told me immediately they would get to work to look at this, but we haven't seen anything from them yet. And so I'm asking the Secretary if he's listening. It has been 3 weeks. As we know, statistically, One person dies every other day who's been exposed to radiation at the test site. So let's think about that. We're looking at about 10 people now in the 3 weeks that we've been waiting for some answers. Just 1 year of inaction has led to 103 veterans passing away without the care that they earned, and their family, most importantly, without the benefits. And this, as I said, this list grows by an average of one person every 2 days. And so we're going to continue to fight to pass these bills. But in the meantime, the Secretary could act today. Today, he could sign a document today, and we could get these men and women the care they need. So I am eternally grateful for the partnership of the Senator. She has been a true warrior for men and women in Nevada and across this country. And of course, for Dave Crete and your leadership and your family's leadership. And with that, I'll turn it back to the Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. You have been working so hard on this too. It's really important that we think about the toll that it takes on families and on the veterans that are here now. So I'm going to introduce you to Dave Crete, the person who's at the center of this effort, some of the veterans that have been there as well. So as we've mentioned, Dave has been a pivotal element in this fight. In fact, he is the reason we are all here today. He is the reason we're asking the Secretary of Defense to classify this as contaminated. And I couldn't be prouder that this bill will carry his name as it's introduced. So first, I want to say a big thank you to my friend Dave for everything he's done, for everything he continues to do, to his wife, to his family, and to all the men and women that you have pulled together. Just let them know that we see them, we hear them, we are with them, and we will continue to stay in this fight. So Dave, the microphone is yours, sir.
Thank you. So I am blessed. Uh, 3 years ago, we started this. My wife and I. A couple of buddies, a laptop, and my recliner. I never thought I'd stand here today with a sign that has my name on it. Often when I speak, I refer to myself as nobody from somewhere, and that's really all it is. I served with a bunch of amazing individuals. Some of them are here. One of our maintenance troops and one of our pilots from Red Eagle. And we really did the cool kid stuff. We did this stuff nobody knew about, that we could never talk about. We still choose not to talk about it because it's really not important. But what we do talk about is what happened to us while we were there that we didn't realize for 20 or 30 years. What happened to our children because of our time there, because we brought it home. Because the memorial list that we have, that the Congresswoman and Senator would talk about, as of a couple of days ago, got the 575th name that we know of that has passed away. Most of the time it's cancer, but there's other things too. But guys get really sick. One of my NCOs told me this morning he had to get all of his teeth pulled because of the radiation rotted his teeth finally and had to lose them all. It's not okay. And that's what the fight's about. It certainly isn't about me, and I am blessed and honored to be here to talk to everybody. But there's a lot of people that need help. There's families that need help. And because I had a top secret security clearance and got to go do the cool kid stuff for a few years, is no reason that any of us should be excluded. I really thought when I brought this up a few years ago that the Defense Department would just handle this. Instead, they told me I had an NDA and I needed to shut up. That didn't work very well. And with these two and some of the others, we've been able to make a lot of noise. The Congresswoman and the Senator have amazing staffs. The VA committee is represented here by some of the staff. Aiken, which is the folks that help me out in DC to make me look smart and get me around. do a lot for us, and most importantly, it's my wife. It's my family, and that's who we're here to help. Thank you. Thank you for giving this the attention that you have and that you will. Like I say, I'm truly blessed, and I don't know what else to say. My name on the sign is insane, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it just goes to show that when you use your voice to advocate for something bigger than yourself, he served our nation wearing the uniform. He was loyal to his country, to his co-workers, to the other service members and their families that he worked with. And by continuing to serve and use that voice, he's making a difference today. Before it was classified at this you can talk about, so there you go. And so we're very, very proud of him. With that, we'd like to open up for questions if you have any. We're here to take those. You can direct them to anyone here. We have a few members who also serve there if you want to hear any of their stories or afterwards. Any questions? Okay. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
You look nice. And
I was
you
gonna
and
say.
your wife are matching. I love it.
I
She
think
packed
that
the clothes.
All right.
She said it was a
yes, and then we're
surprise.
going to give this